Introducing YouTube memberships, a fun way to support the channel while getting some exclusive perks. Click the join button to become a member now and get benefits like badges next to your name on videos, behind-the-scenes photos, advantages during the live trivia game, discounts on merchandise, private one-on-one video chats, the ability to request future video topics, and exclusive 8 to 10 minute videos on the history of the NFL. And now, on with our feature presentation. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and here on display, an interconference battle up in New Jersey. The stakes for this game? Unimportant for most. The Jets are atrocious, and they are the host. The Jets find themselves at 5-9. The Jets are doing anything but flying high. But the main team in our story, the Washington Commanders, a team who, years ago, was one full of grandeur. But now, they find themselves at 4-10, unable to find that winning magic again. And the reason for that? Point 1 on the agenda, a man and head coach named Rivera. You see, Rivera's no good. Rivera's quite bad. His decisions make Commander fans awfully mad. His time is approaching. His end is drawing near, after what has been a miserable 4 years. But he's still the man in charge, he's still steering the ship, even if his decisions have been awfully. And so far in this game, things are not going well. The Jets lead by 17 after 5 minutes. Oh, how swell. Sam Howell looks atrocious. He can't complete a pass. The defense looks bad, and the offense looks like. This one looks over. You can start preparing Christmas dinner. For it's painfully obvious, Washington does not have a winner. But then, something happened. While morale was quite low, Washington's point total? It began to grow. The players on Washington were standing quite tall, even though they had nothing to play for at all. How could this be? How could they be winning? How could all the Who's down in Whoville be singing? The Commanders were up. They had come all the way back. For their spirit they had, even if in talent they lacked. Antonio Gibson ran up the middle at the 2. Our eyes were not deceiving us. The comeback was true. The Commanders, behind for the entire day, were up by 1, with things going their way. There's 45 seconds left, and all they need is a stop. And if they can get it, the Commanders will come out on top. The Jets have the ball at their own 47. They're looking to get 10 yards, but ideally 11. Trevor Siemian drops back, and he hits Breece Hall. And now, Washington's hopes were feeling so small. For the Jets moved up 14 to Washington's 39. And now, everything was not feeling so fine. If you're this man right here, the head coach of this crew, it is here that you must know exactly what to do. You must call a timeout with 32 on the clock. To not call one here would be a load of crock. You must stop the clock so you can get the ball back. If the Jets get a field goal, you can go on the attack. But you must stop the clock here, or else it is true. The Jets will win the game, and there's nothing you can do. You must find a referee and yell it and shout for all of Whoville to hear it. Timeout, timeout, timeout. You must, holy crap, Rivera, how are we doing this again? Cut the rhyme, cut the rhyme, cut the rhyme, enough of this. Rivera, why are you not stopping the clock? Now the Jets can just win the game with a field goal by taking the clock all the way down. Now you don't get a chance to get the ball back. Why are you not calling timeout? Did the reindeer run you over like they ran over Grandma and your brain went splatter as a result? Why are you not calling timeout? Well, let's just check to make sure they make this field goal like I know they will.
54. Good snap, good hold. The kick from Zerline is good.
Great. You've got 5 seconds on the clock. No time to do anything. I'm guessing you do nothing here.
We're set. We'll go underneath. Pitch play, and that will do it.
I figured, welcome to Dumb Decisions. Before I break down what happened here, this whole series is about taking an in-depth look at decisions made during games that were clearly awful from the start. This isn't something that look bad in hindsight. Rather, this is something that look awful almost immediately. These are moves where your gut instinct tells you right away that there is no way this can possibly work. And sure enough, your gut instinct was smarter than that of an NFL head coach. And for this one, we're taking a look at the mind of Washington Commanders head coach Ron Rivera. You know, Ron, I'm gonna miss you when you're gone. I really am gonna miss you. I'm thankful for all the time we've spent together and all the memories, and I'm gonna cherish these next 2 weeks. Because my God, you are free content! This is now 6 dumb decisions in 1 year! 6 in 1 year! How is that possible? If you see a card in the upper right corner over the next 10 or so minutes, it's a dumb decision from him. So it's like a fun little game of Where's Waldo, except here, it's about finding stupidity. He's got 2 weeks left as a head coach in this league before we probably never see him manning the sidelines again as the first in command. And who knows what he's going to come up with next. So with that being said, let's take a look at why not calling a timeout in this situation, and instead, letting 16 seconds come off of the clock for no reason whatsoever is a really bad idea. When Breece Hall goes down on the pass, there are 38 seconds left on the clock. By the time the next play is called, there's 22 seconds. Now this is an interesting situation here, because on one hand, the Jets are trying to move the ball down the field, but at the same time, they're in field goal range. Trust me, if this was a case of the Jets already being in a chip shot area, like the 10-yard line, this would be completely irrelevant, since the Jets would just be trying to kill as much clock as possible, and you don't have the requisite timeouts to stop the inevitable from happening. Trust me, if this was the case, where you only have 2 timeouts left and the Jets have a new set of downs, of the Jets just running out the clock to try the field goal, I'd be grasping at straws on this one. But here, with the Jets in an area where they want to try and get closer, but at the same time, aren't guaranteed anything by any means, they're going to keep trying to move the ball down the field by throwing it, and are going to try to get 10 or 15 more yards, since they're at the 39-yard line. And a 57-yard field goal, while makeable, is not the most ideal or favorable scenario to find yourself in. So let's say that you do the smart thing and call a timeout with 38 seconds left on the clock. The Jets throw 3 passes, and each pass takes somewhere in the ballpark of 5 seconds. That means that the Jets are kicking the field goal with 23 seconds left on the clock, and it either is good or no good by the time 17 seconds are on the clock. If it's no good, you win the game. But if it's good, guess what? You're getting the ball back with 17 seconds left, plus potentially a timeout. Assuming a touchback, you have 17 seconds to move the ball, let's say 35 yards down the field. So you have 3 plays to get into field goal range and win the game, retaking the lead right back from the Jets. Is it the best scenario in the world? Am I saying you're going to win the game? No, of course not. No one's saying that. But at the very least, you have a chance. You have a realistic chance with the ball and that much time left, which is all that you can ask for. But you know what happens if you do what Ron Rivera did here, and you don't call the timeout? Well, we saw it. A made field goal, and you've got no time left to do anything aside from some random pitchy woo-woo action. You have 5 seconds to go 75 yards, since you're not getting into field goal range in that stretch in 4 seconds. Option 1, which is to call the timeout right as Hall goes down, gives you 3 plays to go 35 yards, or an average of 11.7 yards per play. Option 2, which is to let the clock run out, gives you 1 play to go 75 yards, or an average of 75 yards per play. In one option, you need roughly 7 times the requisite yardage per play to succeed and win the game. In one option, you have 3 chances, and in one option, the amount of field you need in order to score is cut in half. And yet, you chose the other option? Why? It's not like if you don't stop the clock, that the Jets wouldn't have any time to move the ball down the field. Time isn't an issue with the Jets. You calling timeout doesn't change their game plan or how many plays they have to move the ball down the field. One first down, and they're in that gimme field goal range where they'll just run out the clock and take it down to the final play. It's not like you call this timeout when they were 40 yards away or there were 10 seconds left. If they picked up 10 yards in the next 3 plays, they're running the clock down either way, whether there's 10 seconds left when they get that first down or 30 seconds left. You're not playing into their hands by taking a timeout or anything along those lines. Yes, they'll be able to get all 3 of those plays off if you call the timeout with 38 seconds. But guess what? They can call 3 plays in 22 seconds no problem by letting the clock run down a bit. That's not even up for discussion. So the timeout, by calling it early or calling it late, changes nothing in terms of how the Jets play this. They have enough time to call plays to move the sticks to 3 downs. If they get the first down, no matter how much time is left, they're running it down. If they don't get the first down, they're kicking on 4th. So with the situation being identical, no matter when you call the timeout, in terms of how the Jets play this, wouldn't you rather pick the scenario that gives you more time to work with if the Jets succeed? Wouldn't you rather pick the scenario that gives you more chances to move the ball down the field and retake the lead if the Jets get the lead here? Wouldn't that make sense? Calling a timeout is a no-risk, all-reward scenario. If the Jets don't get the field goal or go for a 4th down and miss, you win the game either way, since the Jets can't get the ball back due to their lack of timeouts and the lack of time left in the game. If the Jets get the field goal by getting a first down and moving closer, you're screwed either way, since the Jets will take it down. But if the Jets get the field goal without getting a first down, you're screwed if you don't call a timeout. But at least you have a fighting chance if you do, because you'll have some time on the clock. And in the end, isn't that all you want? A fighting chance? I mean, I'm not sure Ron Rivera has any idea about giving his team a fighting chance in a late game situation, seeing as just last week, the man took a full 3 minutes down by 2 scores to have his team travel 1 yard, wasting as much time as humanly possible to the point where the sloths from Zootopia were even saying to pick up the pace. But this was such an obvious situation here where you take the timeout. And he didn't. He just didn't. And Washington lost another game based on his poor clock management and in-game management skills, which have become all too common throughout his entire tenure, but especially this month. No one asked him about this in the post-game press conference, and I'm not sure why, although there was a lot of talk about the almost comeback and the quarterback controversy following another stinker by Sam Howell. But this was a huge decision, or rather, non-decision, that backfired in spectacular fashion. Even though it wouldn't have resulted in anything bad happening for the Commanders, that wouldn't have happened otherwise. There was no reason not to take the timeout here, and yet, Ron Rivera misplayed his hand yet again. So what did we learn from all of this? Honestly, doesn't even matter. Ron Rivera is getting fired in 2 weeks, so why waste oxygen on a dead man walking? I can take a man out to the river, but if he refuses to drink, I can't do anything. I've done all I could. Why waste my breath when I can open presents this Christmas, or spend time with family, or listen to Christmas music for the last time before I don't listen to it again until November 1st? I only have 24 hours, or 1,440 minutes, to celebrate this joyous Christmas holiday, since I couldn't enjoy Christmas Eve because the Jaguars forgot how to play football. So why should I waste any more time on Ron Rivera when he's already wasted enough of my time this season? Merry Christmas, Ron! I hope you get all the Jelly of the Month Club subscriptions in the world for all the pain you've inflicted on my brain this season. Talk about a dumb decision. Get your official Jaguar Gear 9 merchandise by going to jj9shop.com, and be sure to like and subscribe, as it really helps the channel out a lot. Join me every Wednesday night where we'll play NFL Trivia for cash prizes at 9 p.m. Eastern over on Twitch. To learn more about the history of college football, subscribe to Jaguar Gator 8. To learn more about the history of Major League Baseball, subscribe to Jaguar Gator 7. Also, special thanks to all of our Patreon supporters for helping out the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. See how you can become a patron and request future video topics in the description below.